Hello folks, Tim with SGI, going through our frequently asked questions series for our new clients. And the question that we're covering on this topic is a very good question, and it is surrounding the conversation of maintenance. Specifically, how does maintenance work with us? So this is a great question because many people do not understand that maintenance is actually the number one expense that you'll have as a rental property owner, even over and above the cost of property management. So maintenance and how it operates and how the company that you choose to manage your home operates this component. Very important question. So I guess starting from the very beginning on maintenance, I should cover vendor selection and how that operates. So SGI and SGI's employees do not own hammers and perform repairs ourselves. So all of the vendors that we use to perform repairs on properties are all third-party vendors. So we feel as though it could be a potential conflict of interest if we employed the repairmen that work on the homes. And so these are all third-party contractors and repairmen that work on the homes, and we have a vendor selection process in which we use to hold vendors accountable, to make sure they're staying within our guidelines in terms of expense and costs on things that they're charging our clients for. And so we manage all of that. We also make sure that when necessary, the vendors are licensed and bonded and insured, have workman's comp insurance, and all of those things. So that's that. We don't do the repairs. We hire this out to third-party vendors, and we have a vendor selection process that we go through to make sure that we've got quality people that'll do quality work at a reasonable price. So there's always a fine balance between cheapest and best, and so we maintain that balance, and we keep an eye on how much our clients are having to spend on maintenance. So very important topic to us, and that's where we start from, is these are third-party vendors in which we hold accountable. So continuing on with the conversation, we operate off of a maintenance threshold with our clients. So that's anywhere between $300 and $500 of a maintenance threshold, and that's on a repair item. So if there's a disposal that goes out, for example, and that is underneath the maintenance threshold, then we receive the work order. We go through all the diagnostics with the resident to see what is wrong with it, and if it needs reset, if there's something stuck in there, if it's cracked, if there's a leak under there. We go through all the steps on the phone with the resident to help identify the problem and if possible, avoid a vendor having to go out there, which can be trip charges and those kinds of things. So number one, we diagnose it over the phone with the resident, and then if it's below the maintenance threshold, then we send it out, get the estimate from the vendor, confirm that that's within the price range or the expense range that repair should go for, and then we'll get the work done. If there is something that is above the maintenance threshold, for example, an AC unit goes out or something major like that, we of course at that point get you, the property owner, involved and let you know about the situation, apprise you of all the information that we've got up to this point, the estimates that we've gotten, and we effectively get all the information together to help you make the best and fastest decision in attempting to save you from having to do any legwork on the situation. So there is that maintenance threshold that we adhere to for our clients, and that way we can just use our experience and our knowledge and get those lower ticket items taken care of, and we consult your input on the higher ticket items before we of course go spending any of those funds. So that's vendor selection, that's the maintenance threshold, and over and under the threshold there is emergency repairs as well. So that's a major component of it, is our availability. So our maintenance team is on call and staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And so if your resident calls at 2 in the morning with an emergency maintenance item, we pick up the phone and we of course go through all those diagnostics as well. So first we confirm that it's actually an emergency. So if there's a flood in the home, or an AC is not working, or God forbid a fire or something like that, we of course go through all of those steps to remedy the situation. And our goal on emergency maintenance is to stop the issue. So for example, a flood, the maintenance team receives the phone call and there's a broken pipe and there's a leak. So we of course want to get that water shut off immediately. So we talk the resident through that, get the water shut off immediately in this situation, and then take a look at the situation and see what needs to be done. Perhaps it's water extraction or something along those lines that needs to be done. And then we take it from there. So we are on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and we handle those emergency maintenance items. And we're well versed in them. We've, in the time that we've been managing homes, have come across several unique circumstances and situations that we're prepared to handle in all of our markets. So that's how emergency repairs work, and I'm staying kind of vague here because everything can be so situational in regards to state policies on AC units or whatever it is. So this is just in general how we work. And the final component of maintenance, and one of the most important components, is invoicing. So we, of course, have the communication with the vendor and what the estimate is and what the agreed upon price is, and we document that. And then when the final invoice comes in from the vendor, we compare that against what the agreed upon price is, making sure that the vendor is in line with that. And then we, of course, handle the invoicing, handle the payment, and then we take a copy of that invoice that we get from the vendor, and we upload that directly to your online portal so that there is a complete transparency there for you. You can see the invoice that we received directly from that vendor. So that's a great question. This is an important one to understand when you're talking to a management company, making sure they're really dialed in on maintenance, because like I said, that's your number one expense as a property owner is maintenance. And so we really work to keep those costs low and balance the necessary maintenance items against perhaps unnecessary, and avoid unnecessary trips to the property as well. So it's a good question. If you've got specific questions about maybe your situation, your property, you might find the answer to that online at sgipropertymanagement.com. Or if you'd like to talk to us directly, we'd love to speak with you. You can call us at 877-208-8776. Thanks.